Welcome to my channel. Today, we're diving into a fantastic way to reuse plastic bottles. Get ready to transform them into clever self-watering systems for your beloved plants. Every plastic bottle we use is one less that ends up in a landfill or polluting our oceans. And the best part, these self-watering systems are incredibly easy to make. Scissors can also do the trick. Additionally, have a measuring tape handy for those precise cuts and a marker for guidance. Begin by giving your bottles a thorough cleaning. Rinse them well and ensure they're completely dry before proceeding. This step is crucial for a couple of reasons. First, we want to avoid any potential contamination from leftover liquids or residue. And second, working with dry bottles makes cutting them much easier. Before we move on, I wanted to share a quick tip. If you're feeling extra crafty, try cutting the bottles into different shapes. Yes, you heard me right. We need to waterproof the bottom of the bottles to ensure that the water stays put and doesn't leak out. Nobody wants a soggy mess, right? Thankfully, achieving this is super simple. All you need is some waterproof tape or silicone sealant. As I mentioned earlier, you can use a variety of materials such as strips of cloth, rope, or even shoelaces. Give yourself a pat on the back because you've done a fantastic job. Well, it depends on various factors such as the size of your planter, the type of soil you're using, and the weather conditions. Generally, it's a good idea to check the water level every couple of days and refill as needed. You will know it is time for a refill when the water level drops below the bottom of the wicking material. Remember, it's better to water thoroughly but less frequently than to water lightly every day. When you do refill the reservoir, ensure it's completely full. This will give your plants the steady supply of water they need to thrive. Now let's take a closer look at how this ingenious system works. The beauty of this design lies in its simplicity. Occasionally remove any dead or wilting leaves to keep your plants looking their best. And if you notice any buildup of mineral deposits in the water reservoir, simply wipe it clean with a damp cloth. That's it. Your self-watering planters are designed to keep your plants happy and healthy with minimal effort on your part. Water is poured into the reservoir at the bottom of the planter. From there, it travels up the wicking material and into the soil. This means that your plants will always have access to the hydration they need, regardless of whether you're home or away. No more wilting leaves or dry soil. This system ensures that your plants stay happy and healthy. The most important thing is that they are long enough to reach from the water reservoir to the soil and capable of absorbing water effectively. Once you have your chosen material ready, simply drop it into the planter. Ensure that it is long enough to reach the water reservoir and leave a little extra to fold over and tuck into the soil. Did you enjoy the process? How are your plants doing in their new planters? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like this video for more eco-friendly DIY projects. And consider sharing it with your friends and family who might find these ideas valuable too. Thanks for joining me on this journey to reuse plastic bottles and create something beautiful and functional. Until next time, happy planting and take care. Apply a generous amount around the hole that we've just created. This forms a tight seal, preventing any leaks and keeping the moisture exactly where we want it. Once it's applied, allow it to dry and cure according to the manufacturer's instructions. While it dries, let's take a moment to appreciate how far we've come. Our bottles are looking fantastic, and we're just a few steps away from creating functional, eco-friendly planters. So keep up the great work. Triangles or other unique designs can add a playful touch to your planters. But before we do, let's take care of another essential aspect, the drainage holes. Choose a high-quality potting mix that suits the needs of your plants. Different plants have different requirements, so do your research or ask your local gardening expert for advice. Once you have your soil ready, it's time to fill up our planters. Fill each planter about 3/4 of the way with the soil, leaving some space for the wicking material. Yes, we are going to punch a couple of holes in the bottom of the planters to facilitate proper drainage. This step is crucial for ensuring that excess water can escape, preventing root rot and keeping our plants healthy and thriving. To do this, simply take a drill bit or a nail and create 2 holes in the bottom of each planter. Make sure the holes are large enough to allow water to pass through easily. Just remember to keep the cuts clean and smooth for optimal performance. Trust me, you'll thank me later for this. This step might seem simple, but trust me, it's a game changer. We're going to punch a hole in the bottom of each bottle section. This hole will act as the entry point for our wicking material, allowing water to flow and nourish our plants. To do this effectively, Grab a drill bit or a nail and align it with the edge of the bottle. Give it a firm hold and start drilling. If you prefer, you can also use a utility knife or a pair of scissors to carefully slice a hole. The key is to make it large enough for the wicking material to fit comfortably. Safety glasses are recommended during this step, so don't forget to wear them. Also, take your time and make sure the hole is smooth and burr-free. We want to prevent any damage to the wicking material as it does its job of delivering water to our plants. Once you've made the hole, give it a quick wipe with a dry cloth and voila, we're almost there. And finally, grab a wide-mouthed jar or container. You can decide how many sections you want to divide each bottle into. Personally, I like to create to equal halves. This approach provides ample space in both sections for water and the wicking material. However, feel free to experiment and cut the bottles into thirds or quarters. Depending on your preference and the size of your plants, remember to measure twice and cut once. Precision is key here, and we want to avoid any costly mistakes. Take your time, align the bottle securely, and make those cuts with confidence. The end result will be worth every snip. This will serve as our mixing vessel for the magic potion that will nourish your plants. Oh, and don't forget to put on your safety gloves when handling those sharp tools. Safety first, my friends. They're a fantastic addition to any home, office, garden, or balcony. So whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, stick around. We'll guide you through every step of the process, and by the end you will have a nifty gadget that will make watering your plants a thing of the past. Ready? Let's do it. No more wilting leaves or forgotten waterings. Your plants are about to enjoy a smart, sustainable, and stylish upgrade. Start by gathering a few clean, empty plastic bottles. Now here's a little tip from me. Opt for bottles around 1.5 liters in volume. They strike a great balance between holding enough water and not being too heavy. Of course, feel free to experiment with different sizes based on the size of your plants. For instance, smaller bottles are perfect for tiny seedlings or succulents, while larger bottles can cater to bigger plants. But if you happen to have oddly sized bottles lying around, don't fret. Any shape or size can work wonders as a self-watering reservoir. It's all about getting creative and thinking outside the box. So grab your scissors, find an old plastic bottle, and let's dive right in. As we embark on this journey, we're going to be reusing plastic bottles in a manner that's not only practical, but also helps the environment. To kick things off, we'll need some essential supplies. Moving on, you'll need a sharp blade or pruners to cut the bottles. Now that we've gathered all our supplies, let's jump straight into the fun part, transforming those plastic bottles into nifty watering reservoirs. Next, it's time to unleash your inner artist and design your masterpieces. Here's where a little creativity comes into play. Once you've got your desired sections, set them aside and admire your handiwork. With our bottles prepped and ready to go, it's time to tackle the next step in our transformation journey. We're almost ready to bring life to our planters, but there's one more crucial piece of the puzzle that we need to address: waterproofing. It's time to bring our planters to life with a little magic called soil. Now that our planters are well equipped with drainage holes, it's time to fill them with soil. And now comes the moment we've been waiting for, adding the finishing touch that brings everything together: the wicking material. Congratulations! You've just created a self-watering planter that is not only functional and stylish, but also environmentally friendly. So how often should you refill the water reservoir? Maintaining your self-watering planters is super easy. I'd love to hear about your experience making these self-watering planters.